Hey, in today's video, I'm going to review the Roland Go Mixer Pro and also show you how to use it to make a super cool cover video. I'll see you inside. Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and one of the things I love to get students to do in our Bass Lab Plus program and our accelerator challenges over eBassGuitar is make cover videos. In fact, they're an integral part of the programs, and they're super powerful for two reasons. The first is it's great fun at making a cover video, as I'm going to show you later in this video, and the second is educationally they are incredible because they are the next best thing to getting up on stage, because the moment that red light comes on, you start recording, it pushes you up to performance standard. So in last week's video, which I'll link to in the comments below, we lifted the curtain and showed you the exact processes on how we've made nearly 200 videos for the eBassGuitar YouTube channel and also 300 plus videos for the Bass Lab Plus membership at eBassGuitar.com. But I also teased you guys a little bit and said I discovered this Roland device here, which I think could be a game changer and making online video content and cover videos that much more simpler. And you guys have asked me in droves if I could review it, so that's what we're going to do today. So I've been looking for a device for ages which will make making videos and cover videos that much more simpler for the web. So using this device, I've set myself a challenge throughout March to release a brand new piece of content every single day on our Instagram channel to get myself into the habit of using this thing. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel and see if I make the challenge. I'll put a link in the description below. Also, I'd love to know, would you guys like me to make more cover videos for the eBassGuitar YouTube channel? Do let me know in the comments below, because I'm going to show you how we make a cover video in just a second. So the reason I'm so excited to try out this Roland Go Mixer and think it could be an absolute game changer is because it's a simple device which will allow you to record audio to your smartphone. This means it's really super easy to film on your phone and receive great sounding audio at the same time to make cover videos. You can then even edit the film on your phone and then upload directly to sites like YouTube or Vimeo. If you've watched last week's video, you'll see how much equipment you can potentially strip out the mix. You can even fit these in your bass guitar gig bag and make cover videos wherever you've got an internet connection. So first of all, let's have a look at the Roland Go Mixer in detail. It's worth saying straight away that this is the Pro model. There's also a standard model too, which is a little bit cheaper, which would be perfectly good enough for making cover videos. But because I'm making educational videos, I often need a little bit more flexibility, which is why I bought this model. Next up, let's look at the connectivity. I'm going to work my way around the unit. I'm going to start off here, and there is a microphone input here, so you can plug microphones in using an XLR or a jack. You've also got the option to phantom power it, so if you've got condenser microphones, you can power them too. So that's really super useful if you're doing vocal recordings as well, for instance. Next, there's a switch here to turn the power on for the microphone if you need it. Next, there's a little plug-in microphone here, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to be using this when I'm going to be teaching as well, using this gadget, because I can plug in here a little lav mic like this that you can see I'm using here, so to pick up my voice. So that is really, really helpful. So probably next up, the most important thing for us bass players is the guitar/bass input jack, which is there on the side. So next up, we're going to work our way around here. So we have two line inputs here. This is so you can plug in devices like iPhones or phones, anything that you might want to play back music into the device with. If you're performing or making a cover video rather, these are the inputs that you're going to want to use for your backing tracks. There's this little switch here, which is a center cancel switch. This is, I imagine, is if you want to use a mono input and you don't want the two stereo sides to start cancelling out. There's that little switch there. Now, next up, we have the monitor output here. This is where we can plug our headphones in, or if you want to plug out into a PA system or your amplifier, you can use this jack here to do so. Now we have this switch here called loop back. This switch is designed so you can take the audio off your phone that you're going to be recording to. So to continue onto this side, we have two jacks here, and this is another set of inputs if we want to plug in, say, a stereo effects processor and play our bass through that. Or if you're a keyboard player, for instance, you can plug your keyboards directly in there. So there's loads and loads of flexibility. Next up here, we have a battery compartment. This serves two purposes. This unit can be powered directly off our mobile phones, which is fantastic. But I'm led to believe the battery life, or it soon sucks down the battery life of your phone. So you've got to make sure you've got a full charge on your phone. So this is an alternate way of powering the device if you wanted to do so, but also it will power the phantom power that we talked earlier for the microphone too. So that gives even more flexibility. Then on the back, we have the USB output here, which will go directly or plug into the phone input. And then we have this battery on off here. This means you can turn this set of batteries on and then off if you want to. So let me show you how everything connects together. So I've taken my Roland Go Mixer Pro here and plugged it directly into the lightning socket of my iPhone, and it works flawlessly. I'm led to believe it also works brilliantly with Android. There's special apps you can download to get everything working. So all you need to do to power up the device is open the camera app on the phone, and I've literally selected going to the video camera settings on the phone, and we're good to go. So the next thing is we need to be able to monitor and hear the sound that we're creating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my in-ear monitors here and plug them directly into the monitor out, like so. You could use ordinary headphones too, it doesn't matter. These are my sort of monitoring choice. So let's plug them in like that so we can hear what's going on. Next up, we need to take our bass and just plug it directly into the instrument input jack here. Now this knob here controls the volume of the bass. So let's pick up my bass guitar like so, and you can hear it going up and down like that, and we're literally good to go. Now we've got the bass guitar working, so the next stage is to plug in our backing tracks, and my chosen way to do that is just simply off an iPad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it into the input one like that, and then all we need to do is just press play and we should be able to hear it. So that sounds like it's working just fine. It's worth noting just at this point, to control the volume of the backing tracks, you need to use the volume output on the iPad itself, or the volume controls rather. My personal preference would be to actually have a dedicated volume control on the Roland Go Mixer, but this seems to work pretty well. So the next thing we need to do is make sure that the audio is balanced in our headphones so you can hear the right amount of the bass guitar and the right amount of the backing track. It's worth noting that what we hear at this stage in our headphones is pretty much exactly what's recorded to the camera. So it's worth getting this mix right from the word go. So let me just check that everything's okay. Yeah, to me that sounds pretty good. The bass is possibly a touch loud for my taste, so I'm just going to turn it down a little bit, but then I'm there and I'm ready to go. It's worth noting that the Roland Go Mixer is very, very simple. There's no EQ and there's no way that you can shape the bass guitar tone using the Roland Go Mixer itself. If you've got an active bass, you may be able to use the EQ which is on your bass guitar if you want to enhance the tone. But here I'm just using a passive Fender Precision bass. So one of the things that you could consider, and I really like to do when I'm using this device, is put a little preamp on the front. Here I've got an old Sansamp bass driver DI which models an Ampeg SVT. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to plug this in, and hopefully you can hear the difference in the tone. So this is something you can consider doing if you want to enhance your tone. So here we go. This is without the Roland bass driver. And then we can just turn it on. And you can hear it just adds a little bit more tone and bass frequencies to the sound of the bass guitar. So we're ready to record our cover video. So the last thing that we need to do now is make sure that we get a good camera shot of yourself and the bass guitar. It can be quite challenging sometimes filming the bass guitar because it's very long and wide. So a couple of tips is to move the camera a little bit further away and then actually move your chair back like this, and you should be able to get the whole of the fingerboard in frame. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to record Born Under a Bad Sign, which had originally had the incredible Donald Duck done on bass. This is part of Blues Month over at eBassGuitar. Every month in the Bass Lab Plus, we run a song competition, and the competition is to record yourself playing along to a legendary song. And this time it's Born Under a Bad Sign. So I'd love for you to try recording yourself using the Roland Go Mixer and enter the competition, because you could be in with winning a fantastic prize. But here's my rendition of Born Under a Bad Sign. So that's the Roland Go Mixer in action. If you want to watch my full cover video to that, we'll put a link in the description below so you can watch it all the way through. So just before I give you my verdict, I want to just give you 3 more tips to help you hit the ground running with the Go Mixer. The first one is that you can use your phone's software to edit. Now, if I go into my iPhone here, there is very simple editing software. So I'll open it up, I'll just hit the edit button at the top like this, and we can trim the start and the end of the video within there. And that is literally the simplest way to get rid of you sort of moving forward to press the button on the camera, etc., and just tighten things up. But you can go quite a few stages beyond that, because there is more software like iMovie here that you can use. I haven't actually used it yet if you want to add captions. And then this other one I've been looking at called 4X Camera Maker. So there are loads of apps if you want to take this deeper. You could even use your iPad as well, or your tablet if you wanted to film on that if you'd prefer. Incidentally, I'm using the front-facing camera on my phone too, so I can really see what's going on and what I'm recording. So make sure you do that. The second tip, which I want to show you, is for social media use and for making cover videos, using a slightly lower resolution can be really helpful, because it makes the file sizes smaller and easier to manage. These days, phones tend to come preset to 1080p or even 4K, which give you really big file sizes. So what you can do is you can dig inside your phone setting and find the camera. And what I'd recommend to doing for just making standard cover videos is set your record video at 720 HD, and this will be perfectly good enough to post on Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, etc. So the last tip I want to give you is to do with sharing your content. I recommend sharing it to Vimeo because there is so much more flexibility, and copyright is a little bit easier to negotiate than with places like YouTube. So what I suggest doing is putting the Vimeo app on your phone and then directly uploading using the plus button which is in there, and that will open up your camera library. I've had problems uploading to services like Vimeo from directly within the camera app. There seems to be file limits, but when you do it within the native app itself, it's much simpler, because I believe the app is designed to deal with much bigger files. So it's time to give you my verdict on this. Now, there are 2 things I don't like about the Roland Go Mixer, which I'll start off with. with. The first one is that the headphone volume and the output volume to the phone are on the same knob. So when we initially made videos, what we discovered is that your audio volume was a little bit low in the software, so we had to boost it manually when we were editing. What I then discovered is if we turned up the volume there, we could get a good level to the software, but it was just on the edge of what I was comfortable having in my headphones. So if you've got more sensitive hearing, you might find that it actually starts to get a little bit loud in your headphones to get the required level to the software. The second thing that I wish the Go Mixer had was an AC jack so we could power this off the mains. One of the things that I'm planning to do with my family over the summer is go traveling, and I want to be able to make video content when I'm on the move, and I hate batteries running out on me, and I'd love a device that I could also use as a little practice or headphone amp as well. So being able to plug mains power in there and just being able to have this on for hours at a time would be really, really handy for me, so I didn't have to worry about the phone or the batteries in there running out. But the reality is those two small things are minor indiscretions as far as I'm concerned, because I absolutely love this piece of equipment and it's going to be a game changer here. Already, only having it a week, I've produced more video content that I've produced in a month than I would normally using the big setup that you saw last week. So I'm going to be doing my own Instagram challenge where I'm going to be making short videos for Instagram every day during March. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm also going to be making more cover videos. If you'd like to see those, please let me know in the comments below. But I thoroughly recommend getting one of these, especially if you're planning to become a BassLab Plus member over at eBassGuitar or join one of our accelerator challenges, because this will really mean that you will maximize your progress on the bass guitar. I can't recommend this enough, and it's literally one of the very best investments that I've made over the past year in my bass guitar playing. So get a Roland Go Pro mixer, it will make so much difference, and please make sure you share your content over in our Facebook groups at the Bass Lab, or if you're a student, join the student coaching group at eBassGuitar. So guys, that's the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed the review on the Roland Go Mixer Live. Please go out and grab one. Watch on my challenge on Instagram throughout the whole of next month, but also just make sure you subscribe to the eBassGuitar YouTube channel, because we release a lesson like this every single week, designed especially for beginner to intermediate bass players who really want to push their bass guitar playing forward. There's a red button somewhere around the screen so you can be the first to know when a new video goes live. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com, and I'll catch you next week.